with Senza Tempo Cani Corso. I wanted to do a quick little video. It's morning over here, and we just got through feeding the dogs. They're outside. And we've got our little training puppy here, Rasta. And Rasta has been barking and kind of going a little crazy over there. So I wanted to show how I correct that kind of behavior. Now yesterday I yelled at him from across the way, and I did have a criticism by some random person who had no idea what was going on. And that's because I was over there handling puppies, whatever. There's no way for me to walk over there. And anybody who's got any kind of regular life knows that there are going to be times when your voice is all you have. Doesn't mean that you have to yell every time. Absolutely no. The ideal method, if you can, would be to get up and walk over there. And to come over and, well, he's kind of quit now, but psst, no. Hey. Psst. Psst, no. Hey. Psst. Psst, no. Psst. We don't want you chewing on that. No. Shh. Rasta. Ah. Rasta. No. As soon as he stops, I start to relieve some pressure by moving away, which teaches him that he did what I wanted him to do, because that's a reward. Not having pressure is a reward. I don't need to praise him for doing the right thing, because praising him will most likely cause excitement in an already excitable dog. I don't know why that guy thought I was getting onto him for licking himself. That was so random. Anyway, I deleted it. I saw that guy was really giving some of my subscribers a hard time. I thought it was really interesting. He said, where's the competition healing? You know, where's the bite work? Where's the this and that? And it's like, okay, here's somebody who thinks they know everything. Hey, shh, no. I moved back in, more pressure. No. Shh. No. No, Rasta. We're not going to chew that up. He stopped, so I moved back. So there are different kind of trainers, y'all. There are... Psh, ah, no, Rasta. He's going to keep using me. Ah, no. He's the kind of dog that will use your lack of attention against you. He knows when you're watching. He's a very smart dog. And so he's gonna do his best to huh? Yeah. Yeah, very smart dog. He knows when you're watching. As soon as you stop watching, he's gonna do whatever he wants to do. It would be very helpful at this point if he had a toy, something he could chew on, because then I would redirect this behavior by giving him something he can chew on. There's nothing wrong with him chewing on something so long as it's not his bed. Pardon me. So anyway, there are different kinds of trainers in the world, okay? There are, and I'm going to I was thinking about this last night, trying to figure out a way to describe this. Cashmere, be quiet. So there are people that... Can you please check her? Because I really need to be able to talk.
Cashmere, lay down now. Lay down.
Will you shut her blinds?
Yeah. Lay down now. Lay down.
Hey, psst. I didn't even see you. No. See what I mean? I was looking in the opposite direction. I was looking at Cashmere, and he immediately took advantage of that and started chewing. Hey, no. And if he keeps it up, I'll take it away from him, which I don't want to have to do, but I will if he keeps going.
Cashmere, careful.
All right. Psst. So now I take it from him. Shh. That's bad. No. And the odds are he's going to act out in a different way now because I've taken away his method of tantrum. So we'll see what happens. He may not, but we'll see what happens. He may decide to give up. Ideally, he would, considering I just took away his toy, but we'll see what happens. So you see how he almost cried right there. He wanted to. Now he wants to. Shh, no. See what I mean? He wants to throw his tantrum again. He doesn't want to settle. And that's a big problem for him, is not knowing how to make himself settle down. Shh, what'd I say? See, there he goes trying to destroy the kennel. It's another version of a tantrum. Just like I said, he's going to do something else. Because he hasn't quite given up and settled down yet. So the deal is that amongst horse breeders or horse trainers, you have people that do dressage, you have people that jump horses, you have people that race horses, and then you got people that just have horses on their farm. Maybe they just do a little pleasure riding, a little trail riding, right? Shh. Quiet down now. No. Shh. What did I say? No. Do you notice how as soon as I start to try to talk to you guys about something else, which is me losing my intensity of purpose with him, right? Like I don't have the dominant energy that I need. Remember how I told you guys it's ears forward, eyes forward, all your energy is being propelled forward. Mine is not, because I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys, trying to talk about something else. And the second that I take my attention away from him, even in thought, he starts to act out. Now he's chewing on the kennel. Psst, no. Rasta! I said no. Now this is where I have to get more intense because he's not backing down or listening. Psst, no, Rasta. You see how he's not giving me eye contact? He did this the last second, but he's not quite. And that's a bit of it is my problem, because I keep looking at the viewfinder, which means that, psst, no, that I'm not giving him the eye contact he needs for him to know that I'm serious. Much better, much better. I'm going to release some pressure by moving back. Looking at the viewfinder. Let's see if he goes right back to it again. What did I say? No. There we go. That's much better. Shh. shaking just the one hand. Now, this may seem trivial, but it's paramount. You see, in these little moments here, I'm teaching him to listen to me and to obey my instruction, even in his own space. And that is paramount for whenever we take him out on a walk later today. I've been taking him on walks, but I haven't gotten all of them on video. But I will try to get the one for today on. Last time I took it, it was at night and there was no light, so. Pardon me. No, you need to quiet down. No. Quiet. See that back talk? A little bit of back talk right there. So, in the world of training, I do not go out of my way to train my dogs in behavioral, in behaviors, I should say. I would go so far as to call them tricks, but they're not all tricks. So, for example, in the same way that a pleasure rider or a trail rider needs a horse to understand the basics, right? It needs to be able to stop, go, just the absolute basics, just like with a dog, sit, stay, lay down, all that stuff. Those are the basics, what I consider to be the basics. And that's what I teach my dogs. I teach my dogs the basics. I've had dogs before that did really cool tricks. Like I had a dog named Frances that I could, make my hand like this, like a gun, and bam, and she would, lay on the ground, no, and do all this funny stuff. Get down, no. And I can do stuff like that, don't get me wrong. That's all that is time. That's all it takes is time. And somewhat of a know-how. But you'd be surprised how many people come to me for training whose dogs know more tricks than mine do. Okay? On the surface, their dogs look better trained than mine. They can heel perfectly and they can do all that stuff that they want them to be able to do. And yet their dogs don't listen to them unless they're asking the dog to perform a behavior. When it comes to just general obedience or even, what I say, no. He's taken advantage of. No. He's taking advantage of the fact that I'm talking to you guys and I'm not giving him my attention anymore. Just like I said, you stop it now. Now I'm intensifying my dominance and my aggression so that he understands that I'm serious and he quits pushing boundaries. You need to quit it and go lay down. Now. Shh. Go lay down. Now. Go. You had better behave. Shh. All the way down. Now. All the way down. Now. Rasta. Down. Lay down. I wonder if he knows that term. They told me he did. Lay down. Now, Rasta. No, lay down. Rasta, lay down. Shh. My goal is not to scare the crap out of him. It's just to get him to take me seriously and recognize this is not a game. He was walking up trying to lick my hands, and that's, if you saw him with Preacher that one time, when he was trying to take that stick away from Preacher, one of the things he does as a form of manipulation to get what he wants is to act like he's playing. And it's not okay. It's a manipulation probably used on his owners because it worked on them. I'll be really super cute and I'll be really super sweet and then I don't have to do what you say. And it's not going to work on me. And the reason I hit the kennel is so that he understands that I'm serious. I'm not going to smash on it or anything like that. Like I said, the idea is not to terrify the dog. You know, the idea is just to get him to realize this is not a pleasant thing. Your little fun stuff isn't going to work. You do as you're told. It's not easy to watch, but this is the way it is. And if you see my dogs, you see the way they behave, you see that they don't act like him, that's because they know better. This dog has lived in a home where he's been allowed to get away with this kind of stuff for so long that it's taking him much longer than it would my dogs, being that they never had that opportunity. So they came into my house knowing the rules and knowing respect. So I don't have to go through this much stuff. Even Seneca is more respectful than this. She's a ball of energy, but with me specifically, she's very respectful. She's just super dominant. This guy's just disrespectful. He's not dominant. So anyway, let's see if I can finish up. Savannah, quit staring at the dog. Her staring at him was causing him to think that he was gonna get something or whatever, because we just got through feeding the dogs. Pardon me. I don't know what happened, but I got some kind of phlegm something last night. I was coughing all night. Anyway, so in the world of trainers, I am an obedience trainer, okay? I teach the stuff that's the hardest to teach. It's very easy to teach a dog to heel. Once you know the methods, especially if you use a clicker or a treat or things like that, it's very easy. The hardest part of training a dog is the obedience side. Most people, it just doesn't come naturally to them. And you can have a dog that does all kinds of tricks and, cool things, and it's super impressive. But it doesn't mean that you have an obedient dog. And I'll give you an example of that. There are killer whales that can do more tricks than my dogs can. But do you think that a killer whale is obedient? No. Do you know why I believe his name is Tillicum, why he killed Dawn Branshaw? I believe that's how you say her name. She's the woman that was killed by the killer whale at SeaWorld. The reason why, if you look at the video, there are other trainers that show that she was working the whale, he was doing great, and then she asked him to do a behavior. He did that behavior, but she did not reward him for that behavior. She didn't give him his food. And when she didn't do that, he got frustrated, and that's what caused the attack. It wasn't her ponytail like SeaWorld tried to claim. And that's because that specific killer whale had been abused, right? He's been mentally abused by being kept in that pool of water like that, and been taken away from his family. If you know about killer whale society, you know that you cannot break them up like that. You cannot take them from their family, not without consequence. Quiet down. So he's starting to get a bit amped because I don't have my attention on him. We live right next to a trail, and so there's people that are out there, and they always, of course, want to bark at them.
Quiet. There's nothing even out there.
Yeah. It might be our neighbor. That lady likes to come out and stare at the dogs. She does. I don't know what to tell you. She does. Yes, she does. She gets out there. She smokes cigarettes, staring at the dogs from the other side of the fence. Yep. Hold on. So anyway, the reason why tiger handlers and lion handlers get mauled and bear handlers get mauled is because of the fact that teaching an animal to do behaviors does not equate to obedience. Hey, what'd I tell you? No. There's something to say for providing a reward to an animal for doing a behavior versus having an animal do a behavior because you say so, and there's no reward in it other than there's not a punishment. The only reward is that there is no punishment, and the punishment is the negative energy that he's getting from me right now. Right? He doesn't like that. I don't need to go in there and beat this dog. I don't need to hit him. I don't need to poke him. I don't need to do anything. My energy is enough. As long as I'm consistent which it's hard to do while recording. It would be easier if Savannah was recording, but she's cleaning up the kitchen. Because then I can give him my full eye contact. Because when I break eye contact, and this should tell you how important it is, how much energy is required to do this, okay? Because if I break my view from him, he thinks I'm not paying attention. He thinks he's good to go. And so I have to keep watching him, and yet on the other side, trying to watch my viewfinder, making sure he's in it. So it makes this a little bit longer than it would normally be if it was just me doing this. But it's completely verbal, completely energy on my part. I'm using my energy, just like Kashmir did that day. She didn't hurt this dog. He knew immediately from her energy that he had messed up. No. Shh. You see how I will stop this behavior before it truly begins. Shh. I said no. You have to keep going with a dog like this. You cannot give up. And as soon as he begins to start, the whining, the stare, the fixation, where the stare like he does, I don't mind if he looks, but when he gets up, when he walks over here, when he starts to cry, when he starts to mouth the cage, there's the discipline. Cannot act like that. Cannot get crazy. He needs to learn to control how he feels. He may not want to be in there, but guess what? He's got to be in there, and he's not allowed to throw a tantrum just because he doesn't want to. Definitely doesn't like it, but whatever. He'll get over it. It's part of the process. They all got to learn. And there we go. Good boy. Quiet down! Hey! Quiet down! Yeah, there are people out there. I saw somebody just walk by.
You guys quiet down now. You all quiet.
Normally, I never leave them out there like that. I'm only doing it because I want to give this dog my 100% attention right now. Svenna, go out there with them. I know you need to do poop patrol anyway. Yeah, don't give me back talk. Go on there. Tell you what, the same methodology works with kids. No back talk, do as you're told, get onto it. No discussion. Might seem tough, but guess what? They get used to it. And then you don't have to worry about an arguing kid. Because I don't tolerate it. There's no arguing in my house. You do as you're told when you're told to do it, and that's it. And then everyone has a good day, and everyone's good. And you give lots of love and praise in the other time, you know. You can be a very strict disciplinarian and balance it with being very loving and gracious the rest of the time. So, you know, that's the idea, is balance. Always balance. If you're overly, especially like with a dog like this per se, right? If I was always like this with this dog, then he wouldn't get the training he needs, because he would be scared of me. So I also have to do playtime with him. I have to love on him. When I went over to his house and got to know him a bit, I made sure to love on him a bit, because he needs to know that I'm not a danger to him. He needs to know that I'm a loving person, so that when I go to discipline him, he's not absolutely terrified of me. So, so anyway, so in the world of horse trainers, pardon me on that, I'm all sick. In the realm of horse training, you know, just because the trail rider horses can't do, you know, the moves that a dressage horse can, does not mean that the person who trained the horse to take a saddle and to follow the reins, it doesn't mean that that person's not a trainer. It just means that they're not the same kind of trainer that that the dressage horse trainer is. And both of them are required. The dressage horse still has to be taught to take a saddle. It still has to be taught to follow the direction of the reins. It still has to be taught to stop, to not be afraid of things. So it's necessary. It's the foundation of any horse, no matter what they are trained to do. They have to have those fundamental basics down. And that's what I do. I teach the fundamental basics. If you want to go and you want to teach your dog to do bite work, then that's on you. You're more than welcome to do that. It's not something I'm interested in. But you will still need to teach the basics of sit, stay, lay down, and to respect your authority in the home. And if you go through all the steps to teach your dog all those tricks, and you teach him to, do all these fancy little tricks, but you never, ever, ever actually teach obedience, and you never gain the authoritative role in the house, then I don't care how well trained your dog may seem, you're still going to need my help or someone like my help in the future, because you're going to have moments where you're not going to be able to control your dog, whether it be another male dog is around. Like, I love hearing that. There's so many people that have these really super well-trained dogs, and it's hard for me to say that because I consider what I do to be well-trained. I don't consider a dog that can do a bunch of tricks but isn't obedient to be well-trained. It's kind of like showing that you can take a horse and you can jump it around an arena or whatever, but half the time it's trying to buck you off because it doesn't have the basics down. So, I've seen a lot of people that work their dogs. They do bite work, they do obedience stuff, but their dog is kenneled the rest of the time and can't be around other dogs and, is aggressive, and they blame it on the dog's temperament. And they say, oh, well, this dog just doesn't like other dogs, or he doesn't blah, blah, blah. No, the truth is you didn't socialize your dog and you don't have control, because if you had control, your dog would do whatever the heck you told it to do. It wouldn't get aggressive unless you said so. Aside from if it was trying to protect you. And even Preacher will step up and protect me against my own will if he felt that he needed to. But because he's been socialized so well, the odds of him doing that in a way that would be counterproductive are very slim. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not a trick trainer, okay? You're not going to see my dogs doing a bunch of fancy stuff here. That's not what I'm about. I'm not even trying to do that. I am an obedience trainer. I want my dogs to behave and do what they're told. That's it. Other than that, they better sit, stay, lay down, and really, I'm honestly, that's about it. That's all I have time to teach them. Believe me, I can teach a dog to do a lot more stuff than that. It's very simple. It's really is. But I don't have the time for it, nor do I have the need. Like, what purpose do I have to take my time to teach them to do bite work? I'm not going to be using my dogs for bite work. Like, my dogs heel. I like to be a representative for the average owner, the person who just has a dog, has a home dog. And that's what I do here. So any of the people that are all, upset because I don't do all this competition training, well, go find somebody that does, man. I'm not interested in that. That's not what I'm here for. Anyway, I hope this video wasn't too long. Hope it wasn't too traumatic for people, but it's got to be done. As you can see, totally chilled out. He's good to go. He's fine. He's not traumatized. And you shouldn't be either. This is just discipline. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later, okay? Bye.